Hey team, Luigi Mondelli here. I'm back with the weekly talk. Took a little break. I'm always like asking myself, hey, should I keep recording anything? Should I keep giving my advices or point of views and then I stopped because I thought like, nobody wants to listen or to watch this. It really doesn't matter. If maybe one person only gets something good about this, with this talks, I think it's already worth it. If it helps anyone, one person only, I think it's already worth it. So, and then talking to a few people, a couple of people that they asked me why I stopped and why I stopped with the podcast, why I stopped like writing some stuff, and then I said to them like, well, number one, I don't think I'm a black belt and I'm a coach and I have my team. I started my own affiliation. I have my own school, but but it's not like I have this wealth of wisdom. I'm still working on my evolution as a human being, as a coach, and so it's a long process. I don't think there's an end for anything, like when it comes to self growth, and I don't think I'm qualified to give anybody advices or qualified to talk about things like even psychology or this and that. Even though I read a lot, I really immerse myself in a lot of researches and reading because I'm very curious naturally. So I'm gonna try to keep everything a little bit shorter from now on. And so just going back and with this comeback, I just want to talk about chaos and order. And this comes from reading more about psychology and etc. And then I was watching one of Jordan Peterson's videos, and he was talking about the toxicity that some people in our environment, in our inner circle, can pose. Negative people or negative events, and being exposed to people that sometimes forces you to go back to old bad habits. And I was trying to make a parallel with Brazilian Jiu Jitsu or martial arts in general. And that's what I try to do every single time. I always, I listen to these things and I read more, and I read. I just finished, like in my last video, I think I said I finished this year maybe my third book, and of course one, it's a bestseller, is the 12 Rules of Life, and that also helped me to maybe think about going back, because in one of the chapters Jordan Peterson talk about the title of the chapter is like, always assume that the other person knows something that you don't. And that's why I like to talk a lot to other people and listen a lot to about their lives and their life experiences, because we grow a lot just listening to others past experiences, in my opinion, and even others opinions, and especially when it goes against what you think. And I think that's a very important thing. So going back to chaos and order, I'm not going to give any advice, but I have shared that in my podcast before. And at some point in my life where everything was very chaotic, everything was very out of place, and I had to deal with a bunch of stuff on a personal level, and work and family and finances and etc. I was surrounded by issues and problems to tackle and tasks ahead. And then, of course, sometimes you get overwhelmed with so many things to tackle, with so many things to, solve. And among those things, also, you probably could find yourself around people that are toxic because they're just too negative, too depressive, and etc. So even though I see it's a very important part of life to help others, be more altruistic and more kind and compassionate and etc. It takes a toll many times when you put yourself in that situation or that role to always help other people. So sometimes you have to look to yourself, looking inside, and and you organize your life first, organize yourself first, your mind first, before you can really take on other tasks, especially when it's outside your own capacity, because sometimes the things are just out of your control because it's more related to other people and or depends on other people. And I see this like a lot, like it's very common in how some people get so involved in so many negative things, and that's something that actually happened to me. I thought that I had to stop Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to organize everything else. But what I wasn't seeing is that going to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was part of organizing my life. How so? Because I needed that break. I need that order. So the chaos that I'm speaking of, or you can look on YouTube on so many Jordan Peterson's material, or if you just look for, there's a good channel called Academies of Ideas, and it's all psychology related. And if you read a lot about the works of Carl Jung and Alfred Adler, and you understand what I'm talking about. So the chaos was everything else that I had to put in order, right? So I never had any addiction issue. I never had any heavy depression issues or heavy anxiety issues, but I did have some anxiety. I had, I think everybody at some point go through some blues, like, depression a little bit. Some people in a much higher level in this spectrums that totally incapacitate them, and some people like midway. And I think like maybe I'm talking more about how engaging in martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can help the person that is like not in the very severe case. I don't know, just the way that I see. But for me, was very important to not quit Jiu-Jitsu or to not stop, to organize my life. I needed that time to be around positive people and people that were engaged in the same tasks and the same mission to better themselves, or people that were there for each other even though they were not actively thinking about being there for each other, just because, just a smile, like when you get in the gym and you see other friends, they're outside your circle sometimes. And then just that smile, the hug, the handshake, a good conversation, the little brief time that you have away from the chaos or the chaotic events in your life. The brief time can do a lot of healing, in my opinion. And we talk about this, just through the feel good hormones, endorphins, and everything, that training and being among people that cares about you, people that wants the best for you, all those factors, how it can affect your life positively in that brief moment, in that 1 hour or so. So my advice, especially for who's suffering from maybe addiction, trying to get clean, or people that are going through depression, and but it's like in that loophole, right, that you cannot, or the whirlpool, not loophole, but in that in that cycle that they cannot get out of. It's almost like we gravitate towards. It's hard to gravitate away from our problems, even like for an instant, or for a second, or for a minute, or for 1 hour. It's almost like I feel like problems have a very strong gravity and keep always pulling to the center and to the core of our problems, right? And then, and as I think like we are swirling like around that problem and the chaos, we're always looking inside that circle, but we're never looking to outside that circle. So imagine like when there's in this whirlpool, the nucleus is our problems, and we're always looking inside and we don't see what is outside. So my, I guess like in my life, my course of actions always has been to maybe taking some time to do something that is positive and good for me, for my soul. And it doesn't need to be necessarily Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but for me, it was a mix of something that made me physically feel good, things that made me mentally feel good, and I include my religion in that, Christianity in my case, and I did many retreats. I went to many retreats to help me, as well as not quitting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because at those moments, say being around good people at these retreats, or being daily around good people in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in a good positive atmosphere, helped me. And those moments were moments of order and not chaos. So I could clear my mind, go back to my life, and with a clearer mind and more rested soul and rested mind and body. And I think I was able to tackle more my problems. And during one of those times, that's when I made my decision to move to the United States to teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to do what I love. And I found an exit to the chaos, fixed a lot of problems, kept going to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Not problems, but say little life issues that we all have. It's impossible to have a perfect life. And I think if you're expecting a perfect life, you're setting yourself for disappointment. So always remember, try to surround yourself with good people. I'm not saying to move away from the people that might need your help, and or that might be causing you stress. But have spare some time, personal time for yourself. Enjoy some solitude too. Maybe engage some meditation, praying, and go to your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Go to your martial arts class. Go to your outdoors activity. Try to integrate yourself more with nature, and you might find some inner peace. Those moments are moments of order, like I said, and that might help you. And that's it. So I'm back with the weekly talk. I'm recording a podcast this week. Got new equipment, like I said before, setting up many things. Some things are not going to be so pleasant to talk about, like politics, and but I think it's part of life, part of chaos and order, and talking about other things. So send me comments if you see me in school. Just tell me what you'd like me to talk about. Again, I also talk to other coaches. I want to see what other people have been doing for their fitness, for their nutrition, for everything else, to keep their life loving, compassionate, having empathy to others, and also being able to fight for your life, fight for others, to keep your awareness high, and still be able to do whatever it takes to stay alive, and to defend yourself from people that are not in the same mission of loving and having compassion towards other people. Don't forget, our store is BJJstore.com. That's how you support your team. You guys know, and everyone in our affiliation, all the professors, all the instructors, all the great people under me, I think we all think alike. We like our students to have this open-mindedness, to have this freedom to come and go, to wear our stuff or not. We don't have any school that forces anybody to wear what our team stuff. But it's always good to support your local school and our association. So if you want to support our association, it's Core BJJ Association or CoreBJJstore.com. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye.